When you're starting out your character in Baldur's Gate 3, there might be a couple things on the Nautiloid ship that you didn't know about. So let's talk about all the special details on the Nautilus ship, so the next time you play, you don't miss a thing. Sazaze. This video will include minor spoilers for the game. You have been warned. First, a bit of advice for new players. As you're exploring any area in this game, make sure to explore little side paths because there's hidden chests and details all over the place. Every so often, hold down the Alt key so you can see lootable things around you. That can make sure that you find things that you didn't know were there. In the second room, there's a little control panel on this platform. If you interact with it, it will raise you up to a second area that has a corpse laying in a chair that seems to be talking to you. It's quite clearly a corpse, so that's kind of weird. If you begin a conversation with it, you begin talking to the brain. Now, if you know anything about Dungeons & Dragons, you should know exactly what's coming here. If your character has some arcana intellect, it might also be able to figure out that this is an intellect devourer. That's a monster that feeds on other creatures' brains. Upon figuring this out, you might be tempted to destroy the brain and get rid of such a menacing foe. But I would recommend you don't, and instead you help this brain out. There's a couple options here. You can use strength, dexterity, or your medicine skill to be able to pull the brain out or dissect it from the body, and that can give you an interesting little interaction. The brain will wriggle free from your hands and turn into this adorable brain dog thing. And this intellect devourer will join your team. A helpful little addition, especially if you are a more squishy character. In the next room, you'll re-meet Lae'zel, and your little team will almost be complete, but we're gonna need one more member. When you enter into this room with the blue console, either yourself or Lae'zel is going to say, "Don't touch anything," without knowing what it does. This may convince you not to touch other things in the room, but you should make sure to head over to the left here and talk to this capsule that has a black-haired lady in it. She's gonna plead for you to help her out, and Lae'zel's gonna convince you that there's no time and you should just move on. I would recommend helping her out because getting that extra party member is gonna be extremely useful at this point. Like all things in the game, there's all sorts of options to get her out of here. If you're strong enough, you can just wrench the pod open with your big beefy muscles, but otherwise you gotta be a little bit more creative. So we're gonna go figure out how to open this pod otherwise. There's a console to the side of it, but interacting with it, you find out that there is a missing piece stopping it from operating. We're gonna go have to explore. The quest is sending us to the east at this point and wants us to go to the east sphincter. But to the north, there is another path. Also on the north side of the room, there is going to be a small area with a chest on it, and that chest is locked. So of course, there's more things that we need to find as we are not a lockpick. So heading through that north exit, there's going to be a corpse on the ground, slightly outside the sphincter. And if you interact with that corpse, it has a key. How convenient. That probably unlocks that box. But we still need something to interact with the panel. You can interact with this thing, and it does a kind of weird side story to show you what's coming for your future, but I'll leave that a secret. Up the stairs behind the panel is a chest that can contain some random loot, a jar with a brain in it, and a corpse. And if you walk over to that corpse, it's going to have a Eldritch rune on it. Taking that Eldritch rune is going to be the piece that we need to go save our black-haired friend, so we're gonna head back over there. Interacting with that panel again is going to require a skill check that as long as you don't roll a 1, you're good to go with. And that should open up the panel and release our friend. Not freeing her here will not stop you from getting her later in the game, but this actually increases the rate that she gains friendship with you quite drastically, so it's a really good idea to save her here. With Shadowheart saved, we now have a party of 4 if you have the brain with you, and you are ready to go for the next big secret in this zone. The Illithid and these demons are having this big battle here, and you join in where there's one demon commander, one Illithid, and a bunch of imps remaining, and you are supposed to go and activate the console and teleport the ship out of this area. But that big commander has a big cool flaming sword, and we want that. So we are going to actually help our Illithid captor kill the commander here. Now he has a buttload of health and really high defenses, so it's a pain to bring him down. You're gonna miss most of your skills, and if he ends up killing the Illithid, you're gonna be in trouble. Also, after turn 9, a bunch of demons are gonna enter the fight, and they're gonna fly in and help the demon commander. That can really turn up the clock on how quickly you need to take this guy out. Once he goes down, make sure to have one of your characters run over to the panel so you can activate the panel and get the hell out of there, and then have another character loot the body, but also make sure to loot the item, the actual sword, to your main character. That way you don't have to necessarily unlock whichever NPC you had or helper companion before you're able to get that item again. Now enjoy your Everburn Blade, which is fantastic for any kind of barbarian, warrior, or paladin style character. It does massive damage, it's got that extra fire damage, it's got 3 extra abilities that you can use. It is just a force and one of the best weapons you can get in Act 1. With that, that's all the advice I have for you for dealing with the Nautilus and making sure that you get everything before you crash that big ship. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys next time.